For this study, the introduction for Shallow from the movie A Star is Born should be something like this. Now let's break it down step by step. You've got the PDF file in front of you as well. And I'm going to redirect all our focus to our fretting hand to get going. My fingers are numbered to make it a little bit easier. And we're starting with pre-positioning your third finger, your ring finger, onto the third fret of the second string. Now, if you're familiar with tab, how to read tab, those zeros that you see in the beginning, on the bottom line is the thick, your low pitch E string like that. And the 3 is where I've got my third finger on the third fret. The 3 actually means the third fret, not the third finger. So your first 3 notes are, and after that you come back to the open, but you'll notice I haven't moved my third finger yet. So your first 4 notes, slow motion. Now before we go any further, I want to focus on the picking technique, because the picking technique is quite important as well. I'm going to be resting my thumb for starters actually on the 6th string for positioning. So I'm resting there. My middle finger is on the 2nd string. My first finger is on the 3rd string. So if I was focusing on the picking over here to be, and a bit of a different view now, just to give you an overview, you'll notice my wrist isn't doing this. So this is bad, this is good. So try and keep your wrist stationary. And don't do this, because if I put my wrist like that, I've got too much of a claw almost action. So slightly bent out like that, bit of an overview. So you can see different angles, excuse the reflection. And one more time. And the pinky is actually resting on the guitar's body itself, basically securing it. My hand doesn't drift around. So by all means, try resting your pinky in that as well. Now back to the fretting hand, and this is quite a unique song because we're actually going to bring your fretting hand's thumb into play. Watch this here. You'll see my thumb is actually fretting the 6th string, that's the 2 on the bottom line on your tab sheet, and at the same time you're bringing your 2nd finger or your 1st finger, I'm not too fussy about that, whichever is easier for you, onto the 3rd string 2nd fret. So what's the transition? Slow motion. You can see I preferred the 1st finger for that, but I have had 1 or 2 students that favor the 2nd, but maybe keep it like that because it reminds us of a normal D. But don't forget to bring the thumb over. On the top over here, by the way, the opening, this is actually E minor 7. This chord is actually called D/F sharp. It's written above on your PDF file. And then we go to G. Now G, we're not playing the traditional conventional G like this. We simply got finger 3 on the 2nd string where it's been all the time. And then your middle finger comes into play onto the top 3rd fret 6th string. So slow motion, watch the movements here. There's your opening. And you'll notice that your fretting hand isn't doing much work. Now, got a bit of a pause there. You'll notice if you listen to the original, it goes, and you wait a bit now. And then the C to the C add 9 comes in. Now, don't forget that pause. Okay, listen to the original and be careful not to play the song too fast. It's such a cool song, we sometimes want to rush it. Now, onto the 3rd bar. 2nd bar is empty. It says C on top there, and you're going to have slow motion. There's your C chord. And check my pinky coming into play there. There's the 3-0-1-3. So the 3, which is underneath C add 9, is the pinky coming into play on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. The rest of the fingers don't move. So one more time through. And that's your 3rd bar. Now I was going to get the picking hand into view again as a bit of a reminder of how our fingers should be placed when you're picking that part. So I'm going to pick slow motion now, that 3rd bar with a C to C add 9. And if you wanted to, for the last two notes, you may bring that ring finger into play like that, or you can just bring your middle finger down as well. So you got a bit of a choice there. So a bit of a different view, a bit of a different angle might help. Your third bar again. And make sure all the notes ring. You want to get a very nice relaxing overview. So this would be bad. Okay, I played some wrong notes there, but I tried to basically show that the notes, they weren't ringing at the same time. So nice and fluent, nice relaxing, all the strings ringing. You can hear the full chord there. And then you're on to the G. So back to the fretting hand again. We just finished off doing the C to the C at 9, and you're into the next bar where I go back to G. I like sometimes putting my finger down more as a habit, okay? So if you do this, which is not necessary, it's not a big deal. And you're simply going to go, which is string 6 and strings 2 and 3 at the same time. And then normal D. Now, watch this middle finger. You're first going to play the strings 4, 3 and 2 at the same time. I'll show you the picking hand now. And you're going to have a very quick little hammer on and pull off, which slow motion will sound like this. I'm sitting at a bit of an awkward angle, so open and fall off the chair. And that is the open, 2, open, 3, 2, at the end before the double vertical line on your PDF. And it should be like this. So nice and quick. So it's difficult getting the technique nice and clean because I'm sitting really awkwardly now. But let's just show you one more time. There we go. And you're going to have your G, D, okay, slow motion. And now, as promised, the picking hand one more time. Watch the thumb busy working the top 3 strings. If you enjoy fingerstyle, this is sort of quite a good thing to get into. Thumb, top 3 strings, and then those 3 fingers, those 3 strings, although sometimes you can break the rule a little bit. And the pinky I like securing onto the guitar's soundboard, that's what they call the top part here, or the scratch plate. It just helps keep my hand, prevents it from drifting. Okay, now watch the picking action here, watch my thumb. You're looking at that last bar. And there you can see thumb, fingers 1 and fingers 2 all playing at the same time for the D. Now watch how much this hand's moving and listen to the amount of notes. Getting my fingers out the way, so you don't have to do the same, but you can hear pick, that's with it open, hammer on, pull off, and that's all done by the action at the top of your ear. See again? You can see that middle finger coming into play. And after that, you come back to the 2nd string on the 3rd fret, and then 2nd fret on the 3rd string. So one more time. And then it goes, and it pauses. And then after that, basically, you play through for all the verses, the first 4 bars, in other words, between the double lines. So it's only in the beginning that you've got that extra little, and then the song starts with a double. And you're back to your song. And you got that. Now sometimes he adds an extra little note inside this, so it's not exactly the same every single time round. But if you do keep it like that, or you add an extra note inside, keep it, it's going to sound pretty cool. If you've got any questions, drop me a WhatsApp in, I'll help you out. The rest of the song, the chords are quite self-explanatory. I was going to guide you through them quickly. Now the purpose or goal of this video was the introduction, and it's going to take you sort of loosely through the chorus. You know A minor, you know D, and this basic picking pattern will carry you through really, really well. You're simply going to focus more on the picking hand now, so you're going to go, what's the pause there, then D, obviously your root note, your bass note on the 4th string, and if you put the 2 together you get something like this. This part is quite cool. And there you can see that thumb interacting again. So you're going to go from G, D with the with the F sharp bass note, sorry, D with the F sharp bass note, there's my D, there's my thumb grabbing that second fret on the 6th string. So from this angle, G, D with the F sharp, E minor, and the picking pattern for that would be something like this. I like doing a double over there, then you change to the D with the F sharp, so it's the same picking pattern, and then the E minor. So together. So it's a bit of an improvise. It doesn't do it exactly the same every time around, so I'm not going to write down note for note every single part of the chorus. But if you play something like this, it's going to sound pretty cool. Back to your A minor and your G, thumb on top, and then from there on everything sort of is the same, and it goes in the shallow. I'm not going to try and sing because I can't sing like Lady Gaga for obvious reasons, okay, but it's basically A minor, D, G with the passing D with the F sharp bass down to the E minor, and you're home dry. That should actually take you to the song really, really well. So if you've got any questions, let me know. Like I said, the main goal was the introduction to the song. Any questions with the finger picking or the tabs, drop me a WhatsApp, keen to hear from you. And otherwise, I hope it goes well. Take care. Thank you.